My front yard looked like a war zone for tacky lawn gnomes, and Karen from the HOA was out for blood. I'm talking 50 ceramic soldiers' pointy hats, creepy grins, some holding tiny shovels, others fishing poles scattered across my grass like a miniature invasion. It started as a joke, but it was war now. I'm Jake, by the way, just a guy in his 30s trying to live quietly in Pinewood Estates, a cookie-cutter suburb outside Raleigh, where every house looks like it was stamped from the same beige mold. My girlfriend, Sarah, thought the gnomes were hilarious when I brought home the first one from a flea market. "It's quirky," she said, her eyes sparkling. That was 2 years ago. Now, my lawn was a battlefield, and Karen, the HOA president with a perm as tight as her grip on the rulebook, was my personal nemesis. It all kicked off last spring when Karen slid a neon yellow violation notice under my door. Unsightly lawn decorations violate Section 3.2.1 of the Pinewood Estates Covenant. It read, citing my gnome army as a visual nuisance. I laughed it off. Nobody takes Karen seriously when she's power-walking the cul-de-sac with her clipboard, barking about untrimmed hedges or unauthorized mailboxes. But then the notices kept coming, each one angrier, threatening fines or further action. My neighbor Tom, a chill retiree who mows his lawn in flip-flops, warned me at the mailbox one day, "She's got it out for you, man. Karen's got nothing better to do." He wasn't wrong. I'd see her peeking over my fence, scribbling notes, her lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. Sarah started calling her HOA Hitler, and we'd crack up over beers on the porch, surrounded by our ceramic squadron. The absurdity hit peak stupid when Karen showed up at my door one humid Saturday, her face redder than her knockoff Chanel scarf. "Jacob, these gnomes are a mockery of our community standards," she snapped, waving her clipboard like a battle flag. I leaned against the doorframe, sipping coffee, and said, "Karen, they're just gnomes. Lighten up." She didn't. She started quoting bylaws like scripture, her voice shrill enough to scare the robins off my oak tree. I swear, the woman had no life outside terrorizing neighbors over minor infractions last month. She'd fined Mrs. Rodriguez for a non-compliant pink flamingo. The whole neighborhood was fed up, but nobody pushed back. I wasn't about to roll over, though. If Karen wanted war, I'd give her one. The conflict simmered all summer. Karen escalated, sending certified letters demanding I remove the gnomes or face a $500 fine. I'd catch her driving by in her pristine white SUV, glaring at my yard like it personally offended her. The absurdity was maddening. 50 gnomes weren't hurting anybody. They were conversation starters. Old Mrs. Jenkins, who lived across the street, would shuffle over with her walker, chuckling at the gnome dressed like Elvis. Even Tom's grandkids loved staging gnome battles when they visited. But Karen? She acted like my yard was a blight on her perfect suburban utopia. Sarah and I started brainstorming over pizza one night. How do you fight a bureaucrat with too much time on her hands? "Double down," Sarah said, grinning. "Make it bigger." That's when the idea hit me like a lightning bolt. I didn't just double down, I went nuclear. Step one was ordering 20 more gnomes online, each one uglier than the last. A gnome with a beer belly, one mooning the street, another flipping the bird. Step two was the game changer. I found a 20-foot inflatable general on a sketchy party supply website. Think a cartoonish military figure, complete with a handlebar mustache and a salute. It arrived in a box the size of a coffin, and Sarah and I spent a sweaty Friday night staking it into the lawn, its massive shadow looming over the gnomes like a commander rallying his troops. The twist? I added a sign, hammered right into the grass. "Gnome Army Rules, Karen," in red spray paint, bold enough to be seen from the moon. The neighborhood buzzed. Tom nearly choked on his iced tea when he saw it, and Mrs. Jenkins gave me a shaky thumbs up from her porch. Even the UPS guy snapped a pic, laughing his ass off. The high noon showdown came the next evening, right as the sun dipped low, painting the sky orange. Karen stormed up my driveway, clipboard in hand, her face so red I thought she'd pop a blood vessel. "This is unacceptable," she shrieked, pointing at the inflatable general like it was Satan himself. I stood on my porch, arms crossed, smirking. Freedom of expression, Karen. Ever heard of it? The neighbors started peeking out, Tom leaning on his rake, Mrs. Jenkins on her porch swing, even the new guy, Dave, watching from his garage. Karen was unhinged, yelling about community aesthetics and legal action. That's when the twist dropped. Tom casually mentioned he'd dug into the HOA bylaws and found a loophole. Temporary decorations, like holiday inflatables, were exempt from the rules for 30 days. Karen's jaw dropped. I checked the fine print myself, and Tom was right. Her own weapon turned against her. The fallout was glorious. Karen's campaign fizzled. She couldn't find me without rewriting the bylaws, which needed a community vote. Word spread, and the neighborhood turned on her. Dave started a petition to loosen the decoration rules, and Mrs. Jenkins got her flamingo back out. Karen's SUV stopped cruising my street, and I heard she was facing a recall vote as HOA president. My gnome army stood proud, the inflatable general saluting the cul-de-sac for the full 30 days. Sarah and I threw a barbecue to celebrate, with Tom grilling burgers and kids knocking over gnomes in a gleeful rampage. The punchline? Karen moved away 3 months later. Her house sold to a young couple who added a gnome of their own, a pink one, just to rub it in. Want to stick it to your own HOA tyrant? Get creative, check the rules, and fight petty with petty. It's the American way. The end.